guys, Danny here. I just wanted to come back with kind of a follow-up video about what's going on with me and my journey. Um, there have been a lot of questions since the last video when I came out and said this is what's happening. And I really wanted to kind of follow up with kind of my history, what I'm going through. I've been putting off this video for a while because it's not always easy for me to be open with people, but at the same time I feel like it's really important that there's something out there that kind of documents my journey. And I was just watching some YouTube videos which really got me not inspired but upset, and I really wanted to kind of talk about my feelings and everything while they're fresh, right? It was kind of a phone throwing moment. I was sitting there watching some interviews with Nicole Maines, who's my personal hero. As I'm going through this, I'm kind of watching her. She's on Supergirl as Dreamer/Dream Girl, and she's just killing it. And so I've been reading a lot of materials about her, watching a lot of videos, and it's just been really inspiring. But I got a little angry, and not at her because she's wonderful, but just at how much work goes into being honest and being true to myself. And dealing with feelings for me is not an easy thing. I've spent most of my life, and I just posted kind of a vulnerable post on Facebook about this, but most of my life I've been closeted. And it's been a matter of having to be in the closet, not a matter of necessarily my own choice. It was a kind of a pressure that kept me in the can, and now that the lid's off, there's just stuff flying everywhere, and there's just a lot of emotions, a lot of anger, a lot of grief and stuff. And I'm kind of just dealing with saying goodbye to myself and taking these next steps. So here I am. Hi. So I haven't changed the channel name completely, but I'm going to be changing the channel name. It'll be in future tense with Danny Jean. To give you a little background on the name that I've chosen for myself as my female self, even though I may not look it yet. Danette, Dannette, is the first name. Jean, Jean, is the middle name, and then I'm keeping the same last name, Han. And why that name was chosen was because I had a friend named Daniel when I was running with a group of people. And we were getting into all kinds of trouble and doing a lot of crazy things. And the kind of leader, the kind of protector person in that group for me was a boy named Daniel. And I'll say man named Daniel, because he really was a man. Even though he's doing the wrong things, he always tried to do it with a moral code. He's kind of like Han Solo, doing the wrong thing with the right intention, right? But his name was Daniel. And in, I want to say 2016, he overdosed. And we had kind of a little party for him, a memorial, if you will, but, nobody wanted to put the pieces together and go to the service and bring questions up, because we didn't want people to look back at his life and see him as a gangster or just a troublemaker, whatever you want to call it. So it was really kind of private. We never really got to go and see where he's buried. Nobody knew his last name. It was really just like, hey, what's up, Danny, Daniel? What's going on? We're partying, we're screwing, we're doing whatever we're doing. And that was our extent of our relationship. There wasn't really, if you go to someone's house, it was personal. Like, what are you doing at my house? This is my space, right? So when we lost him, we really lost him. And he was very protective and very wise in a lot of the things that he told me and in a lot of the things that he did for me when I was running there, because I was the youngest one there probably as far as the guys, and especially dealing with bisexuality and transgenderism, he was very protective of my feelings because he knew some of the things that were going on inside of me, I think, before I did. So I wanted to really honor him when I chose my name, and Danette, Danny, seemed like a good way to do that. Jean was chosen for two reasons. One, because if you don't spell it, Jean was the same name that my dad liked to go by. So when people saw him, hey, what's up, Jean? How you doing? So I kind of want to keep that name in there to honor him. But also with the spelling, Jean is, of course, the phoenix, right? from X-Men. The movie just came out as this video is being filmed. It's coming out. I think it just came out at midnight officially worldwide. She's a girl that has all this power packed inside of her. And depending on which time you look at, she's either restrained or released. And so for me, looking at the character of Jean Grey, it's the same conflict. How much am I going to let out? How much am I going to hold back? What kind of power do I have as a person? So Danette honors my friend Daniel. Jean honors that battle within myself and helps me remember that I have that choice. It's my choice how I'm going to affect the world and how I'm going to use my power, my potential in the world. So Danette Jean Han is the name I've chosen. My journey began around 5 years old. I can track back memories and things to about 5. 5 years old was when I had my first transgender moment, I like to call it. I can't really go into too much detail about what the experience was, but it was a sexual experience. I know, 5 years old, sexual experience, right? What happened? It was nothing weird. It was not rape or anything like that. But I had a very personal sexual epiphany at 5 years old. I know, right? And tracing everything back, that was kind of the moment where I can see that things were different, and I felt different about my body, interacted differently. And I won't say more than that because it's rather private. But my journey began at 5 years old. And there are moments consistently from that moment to March of this year when I told my wife I'm going to move forward with this, I want to transition, that have given me affirmation towards my decision. There's things about how I feel socially. There's things about how I feel when I see different things, clothes, movies, the type of characters I'm interested in. There's ways I feel about how I dress. There's ways I feel about how I do my nails, how I shave, how I don't shave, throughout the years have really helped me be able to be more clear now that I've made the decision on who I am as a woman. What does that mean moving forward? Well, right now I don't really, I mean, it's one of those things, it's a work in progress, but really I'm kind of going for that gothic butch thing, because of how I've been raised, I don't think there's really a way, and maybe there is, I just haven't found it yet, where I can feel comfortable being a girly girl, right? I like wearing black, I like wearing pants, I'm not happy with my hairline, obviously. I mean, look at this. I'm not happy with how my skin is. I got man hands. But at the same time, I'm confident with who I am inside, right? And so right now, I'm aiming for my comfort zone, which is kind of on the manly side of lesbians. And with kind of a moody vibe, because I'm a very moody person anyway, so I like dark colors. I got dark blue on my fingers right now. I'm going to get black here this Friday, and I'm going to have my first bit of makeup, and I'm going for a gothic look. My first pair of female clothes is pretty much all black. There's some white sprinkled in there, but it's black, So I don't know, right now I'm going for kind of a masculine, feminine mix. Something neutral, With my first pair of women's formal clothes, I have kind of stepped a little bit farther into dressing as far as a woman. I have kind of a long shawl. It's almost a poncho, but it's very flamboyant. And I feel very comfortable wearing that, and I like it a lot. I got some hats that I've been playing with, and I really like wearing those. We won't get into undergarments and things like that, but I mean, there are some significant steps I'm taking to be a woman, but at the same time, I have a very flamboyant and masculine feel to everything that I've done so far, and I think it might just be because I'm taking a while to turn things and be more comfortable being effeminate because of how I've been raised. I'm not sure yet. But we'll figure that out as we go. A lot of people ask, how does your wife feel about all this? And, I can't read her mind or her heart. I can't go inside there and know exactly how she's feeling or know what her thoughts are in sentences and words, but she seems to be doing very well. She's been very supportive. When I came out to her, she was pretty much like, well, it's about time. This is something we've talked about since the moment we first talked about dating. This is a long way back that we've known that this is a part of who I am. So she's been very aware of the changes that I made throughout the time we've been dating, throughout the time we've been married, engaged, so on. I don't think it was a big shock for her. She's been very supportive. There's some things that she's having a hard time with. And, you're married to a guy for 3 years and suddenly this guy wants to be a woman. I mean, superficially, that's a really hard thing to kind of wrap your brain around. So I'm very sympathetic to what she's going through there. At the same time, for me, this is old news, I've always known some part of me was effeminate. And it's like I said, it's taken a while to come to terms with it, but it's very clear for me. This is not a spur of the moment decision. There's been a lifetime of things added into this. So for me, it's well, here we are, and I'm moving forward with it. But I'm also trying to be cautious for her sake and for the sake of others, and not that if somebody's like, well, you better stop transitioning, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm done, like whatever. That's not how it works. But at the same time, for her especially, I'm trying to really take my time going through these changes and these steps, so that way I'm safe, I'm comfortable, I know what I'm doing, but also so she knows that things aren't just rushing past her. Everyone is part of my journey until they're not, right? And there are some people who have elected to step out, and that's fine. They can always step back in, and I'm a very forgiving person because life is too short. And in the end, for the people that I surround myself with, for the most part, we're just going to see each other in paradise anyway. So there's no real reason to act like, saying goodbye is goodbye, because for the most part, I'm going to see them all again for eternity, and I'm going to be up there hopefully looking just as beautiful as the dreams I have of myself, And yes, when I dream, I do dream as a woman now. So that was another question that was asked. So journey started around 5 years old. My wife is killing it as a support for me. How do my parents feel? How do my friends feel? The spectrum is all over the place, honestly. I'm so grateful to all of you who have supported me and stood up for me. Even if you guys don't always agree with each other, just know that I love you all for your individual support. And the way that you do that is going to be different, but it means a lot to know that people are sitting back there, just about sitting back there with shotguns ready to just shoot anybody who gets in my way, It's a wonderful feeling to know that there are people who love and support me, whoever I might be. So thank you. There's a lot of big stuff coming up. I'm going to a event in Nevada this next weekend. I'll be dressing up as a woman all the way. I know I don't look like it yet, but I feel like it. So you know what? I'm going to wear what I want to wear when I want to wear it. And that's the way it's going to be, guys. So get over it. It's going to be a great time. And I'm really excited for it. I'm going to try and get back into training with martial arts. There's been some things that I've had to work out there. And thankfully I've had a lot of support and love. I'm still teaching. Not planning on stopping teaching at any point. The way I figure is if people want to come to me and learn, I'm always going to be available to teach, because my dad always was. No matter what he was going through, he was always available to work with people and love people and teach them martial arts. So I want to do the same thing. So if you guys are interested, comment and I'll send you some information. I love you all. If there's some questions I missed, there will be a follow-up video. I'm pretty sure of that. I don't think my content's going to be as much, though, to be honest. If you have to unsubscribe because I'm not putting out content, then I mean, I'm sorry, but I ain't gonna put out unless I want to put out, right? So there's probably not gonna be as much content because I tried to film this convention I was at, and I got really camera shy because my true self, even though I can still talk for myself and I can still definitely hold a conversation, when that camera's in my face now, I'm feeling a pressure I haven't felt before. And I'm still exploring what that means. I don't know. But I'm not as confident with filming as I used to be. So I'm going to start slow with these videos, one by one. And if there's some stuff I can videotape, I'll put it up. But I'm going to go ahead and ease it back for a little while. So let me know what you guys would like to see dealing with vlogs and stuff. And I'll do that for you as much as I can. Thank you guys. The journey continues. This is Danny, signing off.